ಶ್ರೀ ಮಹಾಗಣಪತೆ ನಮಃ. ಶ್ರೀ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನಮಃ. ಶ್ರೀಪಾದವಲ್ಲಭ ನರಸಿಂಹ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರು ದತ್ತಾತ್ರೇಯಾಯ ನಮಃ.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किम कुर्वत संजय. धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किम कुर्वत संजय. विषादयोगात् पार्थेन भणितं किञ्चिन्मोहधिया तं संदिग्धं मोचयितुं गीताशास्त्रं गीतमिदम्. विषादयोगात् पार्थेन भणितं किञ्चिन्मोहधिया तं संदिग्धं मोचयितुं गीताशास्त्रं गीतमिदम्.
This was Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Let us analyze and understand what is Dhritarashtra. Dhrita is firm, Rashtra is holding on to kingdom. The one who was holding on to the kingdom, even though he was blind and unable to rule the kingdom, but still wanted to hold on to the kingdom. That is why he is Dhritarashtra. What are we? How many of us are Dhritarashtras here? Good. 1 and 2 hands have been lifted up. Each one of us is a Dhritarashtra. We are physically sighted, intellectually blind. We are holding on to our body, forgetting that it is a temple and giving prominence to the body. So let us first of all realize that the Gita is not for Dhritarashtra, but it is for Dhritarashtras to wake up with intellectual eye of wisdom to be opened up. So it is for all of us, provided we open the eye of wisdom. Then who is it given to, the Bhagavad Gita? It is to Arjuna. Now, are we Arjunas? How many can say that they are Arjunas of this world? 1, 2. That's great. I'm glad to know that. But let us say, in that case, have you lifted yourself from the tamasic nature? Are you Gudakeshas? So let us lift ourselves from the state of Gudakesh and go from tamasic to rajasic. That's it. We need not go to sattvic. Arjuna was a strong rajasic personality. And if we are rajasic personalities, ready to stand up and fight, that's why the first chapter comes here, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. What a pity Arjuna had done what he did, or what a great thing Arjuna had done. So which is the right statement here? It's a great thing Arjuna did. Because if Arjuna did not have the Vishada, we wouldn't have been sitting here listening to the Gita. So Gita came because of Arjuna's Vishada, so we thank him. But he should not have been in that distress. That is true. Why? Vishada takes away our mental strength. We may be strong physically, but if my mind loses its strength, I drop down. So Arjuna showed the Vishada. And what a pity that he showed the Vishada. He had, till an hour before the war, was strong with enthusiasm, saying to his brother, "Brother, I am here. Let us fight the Kauravas. We have Lord Krishna on our side." And Lord Krishna has tried Sandhi Marga, all aspects, including 5 small huts. But Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra would not accept for even one drop or one area of land which would hold a little pin. So the war had taken place. It was a war of righteousness. But in the war of righteousness, having decided to fight, having prepared to fight, having got 7 Akshauhini Sainya on the side of Pandavas, and facing the 11 Akshauhini Sainya for the Kauravas, what did he do? Suddenly says, I'm not going to fight. No. He was feeling sorry for the results or the fruits of the action that were going to happen tomorrow after the war started. The Gita clearly tells us as we go ahead, we have no such rights. Right for today is to do today's work. But think carefully before you doing the desired work. And get the Shastras and the scholars to guide you and tell you what is right and what is wrong. Here, Sri Krishna had guided them. Arjuna had taken the decision, but suddenly decided not to fight and decided to become a sannyasi. So the lesson to learn is not to think of the fruits of action while you are doing the present action. That is Arjuna Vishada Yoga's message for all of us. Second chapter.
Sukha dukhe same krudva labha labha jaya jayo tato yudhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Sukha dukhe same krutva labha labha jaya jayo tato yudhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Sankyam jnanam jani sharanagati patamavapnui atma nitya sarvagato nainam kinchit vedayati. Sankyam jnanam jani sharanagati patamavapnui atma nitya sarvagato nainam kinchit vedayati.
This is Sankhya Yoga. Samkhya are the 2 words. Union with complete knowledge is the meaning of this word. Appaji, during the Gita conference, looking at the backdrop, gave one aspect for each of the chapters. For the second chapter, he said it is represented by Veda Vyasa, Bhagavat Pada Veda Vyasa. Sri Bhagavan Veda Vyasa, avatar of Lord Vishnu, who is the first Jagat Guru. Actually, we are on the Saptahva Guru Purnima, and for Guru Purnima, the first Parama Guru, Jagat Guru, is our Bhagavan Veda Vyasa. Now, it is a summary of all the yogas because it talks about truth, Tat Tvam Asi, and ends up with a message of Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna is man of steady wisdom. Mahatma Gandhi, the great person from our motherland, said in his biography, daily he would repeat all the slokas of Sthita Prajna. Whenever he was in distress, he would go to Mother Gita and open up the text and read and get a consolation from her. So this sloka, Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labhau jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papama vapsasi. Having an equal mind in happiness and sorrow, gain and loss, victory and defeat, engage in the battle, and thereby you will not incur sin. Again, the Guhya Vakya in this particular sloka is Same Krutva. Same Krutva is equanimity in action. Whatever may be the situation in the life, happiness or sorrow, what happens to us most of the days? It is an ordinary day. But sometimes we end up with being elated, and sometimes we end up in depression. What do we do in elation? In elation, we forget ourselves and pat our back. In depression, we sit down and blame others. This is the standard human nature. And what the Lord is saying is, first of all, let us take the example of a child who has got 100% in the exams. Now the child thinks that he is very clever. Aren't you? If you get 100 out of 100, you are a clever boy, isn't it? Do you think so? Yeah. But you are not a clever boy for getting 100 out of 100. Because out of your cleverness, you got only 50. The 50 you got was from your previous birth. You had done some good in the previous birth, and the Lord blessed you with the additional 50. So in happiness of having got 100%, you must go and thank God. And you must thank your parents and mother and father and the teacher. You have taught me, I've got the good marks. But when it fails, you should not go to mother and say, you did not teach me, and you blame the mother. And you don't blame the teacher. You blame yourself, because you had 365 days to prepare for the exams in that particular class. And if you don't do your practice properly, it is your fault. You were probably spending 11 months of the time in luxury, and the last 1 month burning the midnight oil. So that is sukha dukkhe same krutva. Whatever good happens to you, it's the blessing of the Lord for what good you have done in the past. And whatever painful happens to you, it is because it is your fault. People say, he has been such a very, very, very clever boy, a very good boy, a very good person. He should not have had this trouble. Then the scriptures and the Lord and the Gita Mata say, I'm sorry, but you are looking at only the present action. Your past actions have a bearing on what is happening today. So have the faith in that. And if you have failed, or if you are in suffering, then say, right, because within ignorance, not knowing, I committed mistakes. But now I have opened my eyes. I got the knowledge that if I do something wrong today, I'm going to suffer tomorrow. So today is the day. Let me not do anything wrong. Let me do all the things right. If we take this philosophy, we'll succeed in our life. Automatically, every action becomes worship. And it says papa, the word. Papa is a fairly common word in the Hindu philosophy, the sin. But what we must remember is the Lord, the Gita, and all our scriptures do not condemn the sinner, but condemn the act, sin. And they say it is the ignorance of the person that made him commit the mistake. So please excuse him and bless him. The lesson from this shloka is, whatever may be the result of our own actions, whatever may be the result of actions of our beloved ones, due to attachment we develop to those beloved ones, whatever the destiny, the fate bestows on us, on our family, there's a time for grief, there's a time for relation. But more must be within limits. If we have depression, we must show the grief. But how long? The grief has to be, for example, if there is a death in the family, the grief, according to our philosophy, should not last more than 14 days or 15 days. After that period, you are expected to go back to the community and continue where you left. If you are in grief even after 1 year, the society says you are a man of depression and takes you to the psychiatrist. So let us remember that grief has a time in our life. So we must bring the balance and get on with our duties. Every day's work lost, not only for us, but for the society, it is a loss, because we are part of the society. So let us remember and bring a balance in that. The third point to learn in this shloka, every action has a reaction. Law of action. Action for progress is sadhana. The results can be immediate or delayed. It could be even in the later birth. When success, don't be elated because it unbalances the mind with elation. In failure, don't get dejected or depressed because it unbalances the mind by way of depression. And events in the life of our beloved ones also sometimes bring sorrow and sometimes happiness. So do not lose concentration on your work and carry on with your social actions, moral actions, and religious actions. Every one of that has a place in our society. Karmanyavadika.